you can give an opening statement in no more than about 3 minutes about this topic and your stance. After that, we will open the floor, try to limit the filibusters, and keep it to no more than 2 to 3 minutes each. Both guests have seen the rules and agreed to the treaty, so any violation will result in a 30-second mute. Every additional violation will tack on another 30 seconds, but hopefully we don't need to do that. Normally we do 2 topics, but tonight it's just this one. So after we're done with the debate portion, we can hop into the panel portion. And that's where myself and Todd will join in the discussion, and we can take questions from the audience. So Korey, since this is your topic, why don't you get started with your opening statement?
I was actually gonna, because Andrew's working from a weaker position, I was gonna let him go first.
Okay, so I don't know, Andrew, do you want to go first then?
No, it's his open.
Okay. Here we go. When looking at the worst president, you got to look at the time he lived, what he did, and what he didn't do. Facts matter in historical debates. Donald Trump's actions were unconscionable and antithetical to the responsibilities and the oath that is laid out to him in the Constitution. The presidency is not just a symbol. It's not just a job. It is something you aspire to. It is something that people look at with a certain amount of respect. That's why the words and actions of a president matter so much. That's why Mitch McConnell on the floor of the Senate today said the president of the United States has the world's largest megaphone. And it's why he's referred to as the most powerful man in the free world. The actions taken by the president after the results of the election were very obvious was nothing more than an assault on his basic duties as commander-in-chief. In the oath, defend the Constitution. It's in the oath. He failed at the most basic tenet of his job. There's been 3 presidents that have lost 400,000 or more lives in their time in office. Abraham Lincoln to set black men free. FDR to put down Nazi Germany and to stop fascism from spreading across the European theater. Donald Trump for his own ego, so he could beat his chest and act like the economy wasn't going to be affected by his catastrophic screw up. 400,000 Americans died because he couldn't look himself in the mirror and say, I screwed up. Furthermore, he couldn't tell that to the American people. These are only the two things you need to know about his presidency to know no president has come close to defiling the office of president as Donald Trump. No office has came close to any type of action that we've seen in recent history to what we've seen this president do. Ronald Reagan, the godfather of the Republican Party, the godfather of the modern conservative movement, spoke of the peaceful transfer of power as a miracle to the world. What did the world see when it was Donald Trump's turn to live up to the standard set by Washington, that we did not throw off the yoke of one monarchy to take on the yoke of another? And once you accept these 2 things as fact, as the thinking world has, the conclusion is clear. No president has been worse than Donald John Trump.
Okay, so Andrew, if you want to give your rebuttal.
Congratulations on the speech. It was excellent. You wrote it excellently. You read it excellently, but you opened with facts matter. And then you cited very few. And one of the things that you cited, interestingly enough, was that there was only 3 presidents who have lost that many. But you omitted Woodrow Wilson. And yet Woodrow Wilson, under the Spanish flu, lost 675,000 Americans. 675,000, and he didn't even make a statement, sir. He didn't even make a statement on it the entire time. Not once, because he wanted to bolster the war effort.
So
now, let's talk. Now, it's my opening, sir.
Sorry,
let's talk some more about Woodrow Wilson, who also enacted the Federal Reserve Act and pushed really hard for the Federal Reserve Act. That was one of the most damning documents ever pushed through in all of American history, and arguably enslaved every American here to this day, because he took the power away from Congress to coin money. Now, if you're going to actually go off of the metric of who was the worst president in United States history, let's look at it objectively. From a moral standpoint, at least 12 presidents owned slaves. If you're looking at what historians say, you will find that there is no historians who have a consensus at all that Donald J. Trump was the worst. You will find that there are some liberal rags who say that, but the SCRI survey of U.S. presidents that was conducted, they claim that Donald Trump, maybe he's in the low 5, but he is not the worst. The Rice Institute says the exact same thing. He's got a lot of competition out there. So objectively, right in your opening statement, you omitted a pretty big key fact, which is that you're pinning the amount of deaths on Donald Trump from the coronavirus, and yet you omit that Democrat Woodrow Wilson not only allowed 675,000 to die on his watch, but never even made a statement about it to keep the war effort up. So I find that completely disingenuous.
Is it my turn to talk?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't admit Woodrow Wilson. I wanted you to bring up Woodrow Wilson because you said it. He did nothing. He acted like it wasn't even there, which is still better than actively telling the American people falsehoods that put them at risk.
What falsehoods?
That it's a hoax, that it's going to disappear.
He didn't say it was a hoax.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Andrew. Come on.
He didn't say it was a hoax. That's all there is to it. He said that there was a hoax by the Democrats to create panic from it. That's true. That's a fact. And facts matter, remember?
You do realize that he have him on videotape admitting to lying to the American people about how bad it was, right?
No, they don't have him on videotape. You're talking about the Woodward or the
audio tapes. My bad, audio tape.
Yeah, you're talking about the Woodward tape.
We can play pedantics and semantics all you want. The facts are on your side.
Well, I just gave the facts, and they seem to be on
my
my
side.
Also, you appear to have lied, and then are trying to cover your tracks about your lie right from the outset of the debate in order to say that you were trying to pivot me into bringing up Woodrow Wilson.
Okay,
that's bizarre and silly. There's so you're saying by your debate, what's that?
You just don't know how to debate.
We're debating.
All you come over here to do is you just overreact to every fact you have to make it seem like it's true.
Did I tell you a fact yet that wasn't true about Woodrow Wilson?
Yeah. His inaction is not worse than actively making it worse.
I didn't listen to me. I did not say at all that his inaction versus Trump's action meant anything. That was your opinion. What I said and stated concisely was that more people died under Woodrow Wilson, and you omitted him during a pandemic, and you omitted him from your list, and you started by saying there's only been 3. Now, that was you stating a subjective fact that was false, and you were called on it right at the outset of the debate.
Yep.
Yeah.
So who's the president you think's worse than Trump? Let's get to the meat of the matter.
Well, I've already told you that there's many. You wanted me to bring up Buchanan. I'm guessing that you have your firing squad ready for him, even though historians seem to want to rank him.
I just want you to name one so we can have
Woodrow Wilson was by far worse than Trump by almost every metric, including the Federal Reserve
Pick
Act.
one.
Woodrow Wilson.
Okay, Woodrow Wilson. Let's go.
I've already stated the two options that make him far worse than
So
Trump.
the Federal Reserve Act, where we got off the gold coin, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
no,
it's that we got off the gold standard. It's that you took the power away from Congress to coin money.
And you think this is the worst thing to happen to America because...
The worst.
That's what you're saying?
Yes. There's nothing that's ever happened that's worse than the central banking concept in the United States. Nothing. Not if we were nuked.
Okay.
That would not be worse than
Based
if we
on
had
what?
a central bank in the United States.
Okay, I get what you're saying. I'm just saying, give me the information that makes you believe this.
I just told you, Congress can't coin money. If Congress can't coin money, they can't control inflation. Everything that we borrow at an interest. And so you can never pay the interest back. It's a perpetual debt cycle. That was pushed by crony Democrats and the monster from Jekyll Island. Woodrow Wilson was one of the primary architects behind that. And the promise was that there would be no more booms and busts. And that's been the furthest thing from the truth. Nothing worse than a centralized banking concept. And that was under Woodrow Wilson. He lost 675,000 people, which is far worse. By the way, during that pandemic, it was somewhere, I believe, around a quarter of the entire planet was infected with it. And we're nowhere near that metric, right? There's no metric at all in which Woodrow Wilson was not worse than Donald Trump, not economically either. According to the U.S. Census, in fact, when it comes to Trump, got the information right here. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, income and poverty in the United States, 2019, the median household income it increased. Poverty went down, though the population went up. The poverty went down by 4.2 million more people. By every metric, he was a better president than Woodrow Wilson. Are you going to give me any metrics by which he was not?
Any metrics by which he was not?
Yeah. If it's your position that he was a worse president than Trump, or he was a better president than Trump.
It was designed never to be paid off, so it's working.
What was designed never to be paid off?
The debt.
What do you mean? In its outset, it wasn't.
Look, I'm sorry that you don't like the way the economy works, but because it works that way doesn't mean it's bad.
It's
Just
worked that way since
like
1913 only. So that's not a very long time, is it?
Actually, considering how it got us through the Great Depression, yeah, it's a pretty good long time for.
It didn't get us through.
It
didn't get us through the Great Depression.
Really? Because I think it was working when they had the Great Depression, right?
No,
you know that we got through that, right?
Yeah, but that wasn't because of the central bank.
And it wasn't because it wasn't the central bank.
That's right. I can guarantee you that the central bank didn't help with the Great Depression at all. Sir.
I can understand that, but that's not a result of Woodrow Wilson's act. You can't blame what people do with what someone does as their fault.
Yes, I can. That's what you're doing with Trump.
Okay, based on what?
That's what you're doing with Trump. You're saying it's his fault that the coronavirus is here.
I'm blaming Trump for what he did.
And I'm blaming Woodrow Wilson for what he did. He had Andrew Jackson to look to. Jackson killed the bank. Woodrow Wilson put it back. By every conceivable metric, he was worse. By virus deaths, he was worse. He was a wartime president. He lost more American lives in the war also. Okay, Woodrow Wilson was worse. There's no conceivable metric, and historians seem to agree with me that he was.
No historian agrees with you that Woodrow Wilson.
Yes, on Woodrow
Wilson.
He consistently ranks in the bottom three.
Okay, after January 6th, a letter declaring Donald Trump a threat to the Constitution was put forth by historians.
From who?
John Meacham, the most world-renowned presidential historian. There was the...
What makes him world-renowned? What makes him the most world-renowned? I'm just wondering.
His credentials?
So other historians say he's the most... I'm trying to figure this out, man. Because
if you don't know who the historian is, that's not my fault.
Saying that partisans who impeach Trump and partisans who say he's the worst makes him the worst. I just gave you metrics by which Woodrow Wilson was by far the worst, and you haven't combated any of them.
Because you haven't given me metrics that said he was the worst.
Well, how many more do you want? 675,000 dead from the Spanish flu under his watch. He said nothing about it.
What year did they die?
And he covered it all up.
What year did they die?
What's that?
What year did they die?
Between 1918, 1919, 1920.
Between 1918 and what?
I believe it was 1918 through 1920. Through 1918 and 1920, I believe. I might have those precise dates.
100 years ago, Trump was on pace to double that. Trump killed 400,000 in less than a year.
No, it's not true.
Yeah, it really is.
No.
Hey, we were debating. You said his metric was so much worse. We're not debating.
Much worse.
It's not, because what you're giving me is a 2-year period. I'm giving you an 11-month period from a president who actively made it worse. Not someone who ignored it and it got worse. Someone who actively made it worse. So by your own metric, you're wrong.
So the metric for you is if you ignore it and it gets worse, that's better than if you're trying to actively combat it and it gets worse. Even though you arguably have less deaths.
He was actively lying to us to make us think it wasn't as bad.
They said that there was going to be millions of deaths. They said millions of deaths domestically, right? And even the 400,000 number is nonsense. We know objectively now that it's nonsense. We know that there's lots of people who have died who have also had COVID, but that doesn't mean
sorry that you do not live in reality. That does not affect what we're debating.
Saying I don't live in reality isn't a debate talking point, sir.
Yeah, it is, because we can't debate if we have two sets of facts.
Well, as I've been often saying, that just because you fall for liberal talking points doesn't mean your facts are better than mine. I've just given you, listen.
My facts are better than
Woodrow Wilson covered up the amount of deaths that were going on so that he could continue a war. That's why he did that, right? And you're saying that Donald Trump, who comes out daily and tries to give you coronavirus briefs, tries to tell you exactly what's going on, is trying to fight a pandemic that we know almost nothing about, is worse than him? I don't get it.
How many people did Woodrow Wilson kill? Just I'm going to get the numbers right. This is like the metric you want to fight this on. Let's give it. How many people?
Over 600,000.
600,000 people.
Yeah.
You want to call it 625?
I believe it was 675.
I'll give you 7,000. Want to call it 7,000? 700,000 dead.
Okay.
That was 3 waves over 2-3 years. Trump killed 400,000. If we're going to go by the metrics that, most people agree with, since, I guess neither one of us can, debate our own facts. Trump did 400,000 in 11 months through one wave. And when he went on TV, he didn't go on TV to make it feel better.
It wasn't one wave. That's not true. Multiple waves.
We had multiple highs. We had a sustained wave.
Multiple.
It never went away and disappeared.
Now you have variations even. Now you have variations. And worldwide, there's been at least 2 to 3 waves. And in the United States, there's been at least 2 to 3 waves. Second wave of coronavirus coming. You don't remember the articles? Because I sure do.
Did it go away? Did it go away?
And by the way, what's happening right now with coronavirus is that the cases objectively are falling at a drastic rate. Drastic rate.
Yes.
Okay, so we're never going to hit the metric likely of 675,000 people dead from coronavirus in the United States. It's likely not going to happen.
Well, Trump killed more in less time than Woodrow Wilson.
Well, yay, but we don't care about the time frame. We care about the total deaths. We also care about who addresses it and who doesn't. If you're lying about it specifically so that you can embolden your troops to win a war, I think that's pretty much objectively worse than trying to
lie to people about it.
Than saying that I didn't want to create a panic, so I didn't run out and say the sky is falling. Yeah, I think that's objective.
He didn't go out and do that, Andrew. He went out and said it's going to disappear. It's not that big of a deal. I had it. Not a big deal. I got over it. I was fine. Yeah, we found out that was a prop too.
Well, you're conflating two different things. Are you talking about later, or are you talking about earlier? Because later he most certainly didn't say it's no big deal. I had it. No worries. Go on about your merry day. You're paraphrasing.
Had it, that was exactly what he said. It wasn't a big deal.
You're paraphrasing. That's all you're
You're
doing.
being delusional. That's fine.
There's no delusion. There's no delusion. He did not say
Woodrow Wilson didn't go on television and purposely lie to people for his own benefit.
No, he did.
Lie to people for war.
He didn't go on television and do it. It was a lie of omission in order for him to bolster the morale of his own soldiers, so that he could continue to fight.
Which is not as bad as actively making it worse. Trump's
I think it is much worse.
Any scientific metric made the pandemic so much worse than it needed to be.
How did he make it worse, Trump?
Masks.
What about
we had everyone watching, Brittany, Todd, Andrew, every one of us growing up, we were told that if we were sick, you stayed away from them because you didn't want to catch it too. And when we go into a hospital to see a baby, we all put on a mask because that baby doesn't want our germs. Yet, Donald Trump convinced half of the American people that that's no longer true.
Wait, I'm sorry. Say that again. When we go into hospitals around babies, we wear masks. Is that what you said?
Yeah, a lot of when you go into around babies because they're young and their immune system.
I've never worn a mask around any babies, and I've been there for 18 different births, sir.
Really?
Yeah.
What kind of redneck hospital do you go to?
No, very sophisticated ones. They're all quite alive and beating you at a debate right now. So I'm just saying.
Huh?
Nothing. Go on. Carry on. I mean, it's an objective falsehood to say that you have to wear masks around babies. I've never heard that, and I've never seen it. Not once.
It's not an objective falsehood to say that it's the experience of every person that reducing germs is how to prevent infection.
Yeah, and I don't dispute that. But there's the scientific metric that a mask is preventing an airborne virus nobody has any immunity from is patently absurd, especially cloth masks or people wearing T-shirts around their face or the N95s even when they do the studies and find out that they're very, very, they have almost
I'm
not
debating something that's already been proven.
It's been proven
99% of the scientific community.
No, not 99%. That's made up falsehood. You just made it up, pulled it right out of your ass.
I'm not debating reality with you, Andrew. Next topic, go.
There is no next topic. We're on this topic.
Oh, okay. Well, I've already proven this wrong. What else you want to do?
You didn't prove anything.
Yes, I have. You ignoring reality doesn't. Oh, screw it.
Can I ask a question? Maybe can you guys name maybe something else, like a different metric than just?
This was his topic.
No, I get it. I'm saying perhaps.
So let's finish the topic. Yeah, okay. I'm not going to debate reality with you. That's what a debate is. We're debating reality. So get to it.
Okay. Well, Andrew, what you're saying is a falsehood because the scientific community agrees masks reduce it. Now, we can debate how much it reduces it. That's fine. That's a debate. But it does reduce it. That is a fact.
Okay, but if it reduces it by such a low metric that not wearing one wouldn't matter, then who cares about it?
But we don't know that. We just know that it works.
Right.
We don't know how well it works.
We don't know that. You just said it for me. We don't know that. And so don't say it's two different realities when
but it is two different realities.
You yourself don't know how effective your own mandates
for 100 years. We have worn masks to prevent germ spreading.
For how long?
Watch any doctor show. What are they wearing over their faces, Andrew? What are they wearing over their faces?
Yeah, when they're going. Yes.
What are they wearing over their faces?
Surgery.
What are they? What are they wearing?
They take precautions.
What are they wearing? What are they wearing?
PPE.
Like masks?
Sometimes, but when you go into a doctor's office, wait a second, bro. But when you go into a doctor's office for a routine checkup, do you have to wear a mask?
So people with medical degrees are actively saying wear a mask, and you're trying to tell me that we shouldn't believe that. Yeah, you don't have the qualifications to dispute medical opinion.
Why not?
I'm taking the side of medical opinion,
Why not? Medical opinion during the Black Plague was that wearing
You're
a mask
the one that
and
told my
stuffing it.
wife that she
Hey,
didn't have
let me speak,
credentials
sir.
to ask you a question,
If I let
dumbass.
you speak, you got to let me speak.
That's
Okay.
an insult.
What about
plague?
plague masks where you had to stuff flowers up them because the smell of the flowers was going to reduce the infection rate of the doctor, right? So just because you have scientific consensus doesn't mean that it's true. It doesn't mean that it works.
Well,
It doesn't mean anything.
In 100 years, if the consensus that the doctors in 2020 were wrong, we can come back as ghosts and I'll tell you that you were right. But right now, the consensus of the medical community that neither one of us are part of is that masks work. Donald Trump went around and they didn't. And making fun of people for wearing it.
Then wear the mask. I thought we were debating who was the worst president, not who was the worst mask wearer.
Okay, so anyway, what Andrew's doing now is called moving the goalpost.
Back to the actual topic.
Because every time he says, Korey, you got to do this, and then I do this, and he goes, yeah, but that's not what I'm talking about. And then I say, well, you got to do this. But then he's like, yeah, but that's not what I'm talking about. Now he's trying to make an argument about how his facts should be equal to mine when mine are backed up by medical science, when Andrew's the person who doesn't take questions from people in the audience if he doesn't believe the qualifications are correct.
So let's try.
Please, Andrew.
Sure. So let me help you out. You say let's go with your stats then. You say 99% of medical professionals agree that this is so, yeah?
I say medical professionals on a whole agree that masks work.
Okay, so let's just assume it's 99%. I'm not saying you said that. I'm just saying let's assume it's 99%. That would still leave 1%, yes?
Yes.
Okay. So then that means that I could be siding with medical experts who do agree with what I'm saying. They're just in a minority. That doesn't make them wrong.
Actually, if you're siding with one, you're siding with a medical expert. So just so you know, if you're talking about a metric, as a whole, and you slice out 99% of it, you can still have tens of thousands. See, Brittany, this is how he does this because he doesn't have facts. He just likes to convolute shit because he doesn't want to live in reality.
I just gave you a fact.
What one person?
No, not what one person.
Okay, no matter what metric you want to put it in, 99 to 1 means there's 99 more of people who believe what I think than you.
But I'm going
70 to 30,
and I'm going with that same argument. And if there's 99 to 1, you can't say I'm disagreeing with medical experts. You're just saying I'm disagreeing with the
medical community, right? I'm on the side of the consensus of the medical community. Thank you.
You're filibustering, sir.
Okay, can you guys both maybe name what you think the best thing that Trump did and what the worst thing that Trump did over his presidency? Can you guys do that each?
You want me to name the best thing that he did?
What you think the best thing he did for this country and what's the worst thing he did?
Probably the best thing he did for the country was lower the corporate tax rate. That stimulated the economy like no other.
And what's the worst thing?
Coronavirus. Sorry, go ahead.
So even in a simple question, he can't tell the truth. The economy didn't grow like no other under Trump. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
The best thing he did was veterans. He gave some money for the veterans. My dad got a bump, and I really appreciated that. Hell, I even got a tax break that helped me pay for a sports car, so that was cool.
Well, I just told you what the U.S. Census Bureau said, so.
No, you said that he. Okay, so
Andrew,
hold on a second. Let me answer the questions, and then we can go back to the economy. And the worst thing he did was defile the Constitution. Now, back to your comment about he grew the economy like no other.
Are you waiting for your wife to tell you what Trump did that was the worst, or what?
What
the fuck are you talking about now?
I'm just asking. Go ahead.
What are you asking?
Well, I'm just wondering what was she asked you what the worst thing was he did.
Defiling the Constitution.
Okay, yeah. So you got a qualifier for that? That's pretty broad.
Oh, acting like voter fraud existed when the amount that that he was claiming did not exist.
So that's the metric there.
She just asked my opinion, bud. What I don't care if you like it or not. It's my opinion.
I wasn't making a judgment on it either way, just clarifying.
But anyway, back to your comment about the economy. He didn't grow it like no other. Clinton, FDR blew it better. His economy, the first 3 years, was 0.1% better than Obama's. 0.1%. That's the growth rate. So he didn't really grow the economy like no other. Even if that is what, you think's the best thing he did, then the best thing you think he did didn't really happen. So do you want to try with a real one this time?
I just gave you the U.S. Census Bureau statistics on it.
Also,
I read them out loud.
The U.S. Census Bureau said he grew it like no other? Because that's what you said the best thing he did.
I was paraphrasing.
Also, but they went.
His audio cut out. I can't hear him.
Yeah, your audio did cut out. Still cut out.
Yo, shout out to my boy Marcos. What's up, bro? I'm glad you came and seen. This is politically provoked, my friend.
Mm. Yeah, my dad's watching. Hi, Dad.
Yo, what's up, Steve? Yo, what's up, Warren? All of our people who keep coming back. Crazy Hope,
Eric.
all of the peeps. Stu, Eric, even Caleb. Yo, thanks for joining us. You back, Korey?
There she is. She's waiting. She was giving him the fact checks.
Eric, me and Andrew are
There. Now can you hear me?
really not
Yeah, we
opposed
can hear
to
you.
many things,
Yeah,
although
we
we do. There we go. All right.
My apologies for being technically inept.
No, you're fine. Don't worry about it.
So anyway, where did the Census Bureau say that he grew it like no other? Because all economists say he didn't. So I'd like to. Well, I shouldn't say all because you'll find the one. Most.
Okay. I was paraphrasing, but I was using U.S. Census Bureau data about the poverty rate going down, the amount more money that people had, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You can find it on page 9 of their report.
Yes, but he didn't grow the economy like no other because
I was paraphrasing. It's very common to do that, like you were earlier on when you were paraphrasing about Woodward and his response.
And were you breaking me over the coals for that? Yeah, you were. So relax, bud.
I'm not upset.
Anyway, what's next?
Well, I mean, we can jump into the panel portion if you guys want. We can just discuss.
No, I want to know how Trump defiled the Constitution.
Okay, so he started out over the summer with a campaign that if he lost, it was going to be because it was rigged. Then he went ahead and came out and acted like he won the election when the votes were still being counted in the middle of the night to further promote his agenda. A calculated attack on the Constitution. And
which part of the Constitution?
One person, one vote. The First Amendment.
Not in the Constitution. All voting rights are affirmed in the negative. All. There is no singular right to vote. They're all affirmed in the negative.
Your inability to accept reality.
No, that's reality. That's reality. They're all voting rights are affirmed in the negative, sir. All.
And everyone knows that when someone, oh my God. Okay, Andrew, whatever.
So what was the metric that you said Woodrow Wilson? Did you say that Woodrow Wilson was the worst president, Andrew? Was that what your answer was?
Yeah, I think he was. Yeah, I think he was a worse president than Trump by far.
And what was your metric for that?
How many people died on his watch for the Spanish flu, for World War I, and most importantly, for the pushing of the Federal Reserve?
So, I mean, is the entire metric that we're both going off of here is just
All we're trying to distinguish is whether or not Donald J. Trump was the worst in history. That's it.
Right. I feel like that would involve a lot more than just, a pandemic.
Well, that's the whole problem with this debate, is that it's subjective. That's why I didn't ever care about it. Right. The problem is that I can source historians, and did at the outset when he lied in his opening statement and then pivoted and said, the reason that I lied was to get you to bring up Woodrow Wilson, which is absurd. OK, what happened here was he was called out immediately on a lie and has been pivoting ever since.
Whatever, bud. I can't help it that the facts weren't on your side. I tried to let you out of the debate a week ago when it became how apparent.
The facts have been totally on my side. Completely on my side. I don't know what else to tell you. You omitted Woodrow Wilson and then brought up a pandemic, which was insane, but you did.
Did Woodrow Wilson cause a Capitol riot? Because
Trump didn't cause a Capitol riot. The inability of our government to listen to one large outset of its people is what ended up having a cause and effect that led to the Capitol riot.
Yeah, we have both parties agreeing on.
No, they don't both agree.
We had both parties agreeing on the floor of the Senate
acquitted.
that he was morally and practically responsible.
Both parties don't agree to that. 11 Republicans agreed. That's it. That's not both parties.
I can't help it.
Well, it's like, I think it was 17 if you count both the House and the Senate.
No, I'm actually just talking about Mitch McConnell, the leader of the Republican caucus.
That doesn't
that he caused. Well, okay, if we're not going to go with what both parties say happened,
that's not what both parties say happened. Both parties. Hey, he was
the leaders of both parties.
Just acquitted?
It, Andrew.
Was he just acquitted? When did that happen?
Technicality on a constitutional technicality. That's not the same as being.
So I guess so. Was the Constitution defiled by both parties? Then should they have convicted him?
Are we going to debate the Constitution? We can do that. But
well, I'm asking you straight out. This is your position. Your position is that both parties agree that he's morally reprehensible, but both parties don't agree.
I said morally responsible for the riot on the Capitol.
Okay, sorry. He was morally responsible for the riot on the Capitol, but both parties don't agree that that's so.
Okay, so if we're not going to listen to the shared opinion of the leaders of both parties,
and why should we?
Because I guess that's what you do when you can't go out and ask every single Republican.
Well, but you can't ask all of the Republican leadership, and they will.
I'm sorry that your warped world doesn't work anymore, bud. But
it seems to work fine. Donald Trump was acquitted. How am I wrong? He was acquitted,
and then raked over the coals by the leader of both parties.
It's interesting. If what you said is true, and both parties unanimously agreed that he was at fault for this, or a majority of them agreed, you would have the 2/3 that you would have needed in order to convict him, and you didn't have that. So what you said is factually incorrect.
Actually, no, because they didn't not convict because he didn't do it. It was mainly a constitutional argument is what they used as an excuse. No one actually thinks he didn't cause it, other than people that it benefits them to lick Trump's ass.
I mean, that's an excellent talking point, but you can't prove it.
And you can't prove your asinine assertions either. That's
why
I
can because he was acquitted. You see how that works?
No, actually, he was acquitted on a constitutional ground.
That's on
the facts of the case.
Well, that's what we said when all the cases.
That is a reality. It is a fact. It was played out on television.
Oh, well, if the TV says it, it must be true.
Yeah, like I said before.
But there's an acquittal.
The fact that you do not accept reality is not.
I accept that he was acquitted and that the majority of Republicans wanted him to be acquitted. And he was acquitted.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you want to talk about now?
We can jump to the panel portion. I mean, this is pretty much the end of the debate anyways. We usually have them for 45 minutes on a topic. So we can jump into the panel portion. I mean, I wouldn't mind weighing in on this a little bit because I don't think that a pandemic is the only metric that you would. I think Trump was the worst president in history without the pandemic. So I think, the kind of psychological damage he did to this country is Like, imagine if he was the president when we would have the Civil War, what a different direction this country would be in. It's just, I don't see any other person that you can compare to Trump in that sense, where he's literally, he's coming after every institution. He's siding with foreign countries over our own country. You can't trust him with intelligence. He attacks Americans more than he does our enemies. There's I don't know. There's a lot more than just the pandemic that makes him a crap president.
One of the things I think is really telling that we don't talk about here, because most people are nationalists around here, is that it's, Ronald Reagan saying, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall. That was a big moment. That gave a lot of hope to people who don't generally have it. Mm-hmm. And when those same people that are in those situations with dictators and despots see the president of the United States cozying up to them, the negative effect that has, it has to be pretty substantial, I would think.
So now
given how the country looks,
like the Uyghurs and like the Uyghurs in China.
Huh? Now Trump is cozying up to fucking Gorbachev.
Trump
also, I think you guys, to say that Trump didn't cause what happened on the 6th is like absurd. And
are we in the panel portion?
Yeah, we're in the panel portion. So let me just make that clear that we're
in the panel portion now.
Yeah, so we could. So if you guys have questions in the audience,
you want to get that Cash App, bro?
Okay, stop.
Yeah, Korey, what's the Cash App so you can send that 100?
Stop.
As Andrew didn't win, why would I send him money?
And so I told you, that's why we define the metrics.
And like I told you, your metrics were
but anyway,
shit, so
we'll finish the panel.
I knew he would
finish the panel.
Yeah, finish the panel.
Yeah.
Hey,
Sorry,
Brittany.
Yeah.
What did I tell you that Andrew would do tonight during our debate?
When?
I don't remember.
If you look at your text, I actually told you that the only way Andrew's going to do this is he's going to ignore the facts that he doesn't like and say that they're not real.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. As you ignored facts in your opening.
Andrew. Big shock. Big shock what you were going to do, Andrew.
Yeah.
As you ignored facts in your opening, Korey. But it's cool, man. We're going to have the debate portion. It's not a big deal. I need to Welch too.
Todd, you were supposed to debate me too. What happened?
He still will.
It's easy money. I'll still do it. I'll do it on the same absolute premise. Hey, I'll take you up on the voter fraud. How about that? Make it 200. But if you got to pay your first bet. So I'm not going to come on and pay your first bet.
Don't have to pay a bet to a debate I didn't lose. That's okay.
We're not going to use that.
Well, actually, wait a minute. We're supposed to have a panel of judges.
On your metrics, and we can use this
Me
panel.
It's Korey. It's not decided yet. He's just talking.
Andrew.
Okay, you guys. Okay, I'm going to stop. Okay, this is not something we need to talk about right now. We can talk about that stuff later. Let's get to questions from people in the audience.
Exactly. So let's go over your debate.
We could talk because I don't know. I just think it's absurd to say that Trump didn't cause what happened on the 6th, though. Like, that 100% was because of him. I don't know how anybody could say otherwise. And even
well, I have a video. So when wait a minute. So when Democrats said to fight, we're going to fight like hell. They didn't mean fight, though, right? That was just metaphorically speaking, right?
What Trump was saying to fight for was to overthrow our government, basically. What Democrats are saying to fight for was none of that. Like, after he exhausted every legal avenue that they could take, what else are they going to do? He gathered them up, he pumped them with lies for months. There's no way, none of it would have happened if it wasn't for him.
Was it pre-planned?
Doesn't matter.
Was it pre-planned? No, it does. It does. To incite something, you cannot have pre-planned.
Because this was happening
over. That means you're right. Right. So,
one thing that did come out in the trial.
On your metric, you just lost. It's cool.
One thing that came out in the trial, Todd. One thing that came out in the trial is that it wasn't a march until the Trump campaign got involved in the planning. So, take that what it means, but The
Right,
march
you're
did
against
not.
marches now?
I'm just saying they weren't going
You're
towards the
against marches
Capitol
now?
until Trump's campaign got involved. Simply
Peacefully
stating
and patriotically. I don't
I
happened.
have a quick
Read into it what you like.
My
Just
dad has
stating
a
the fact.
question, you guys. My dad has a question for says, did Trump
Go ahead,
attempt? Did Trump attempt to represent all Americans or just the ones he liked? So
I think
Did
it was
Obama
an
do
attempt.
that? I don't think
I
anybody.
think it was.
You're owed to your base.
there's an echo. There's an echo.
It's not me.
Yeah, Todd, talk again because I felt like it was you.
No, I
Todd?
say you. Well, you first of all, your base is who you are entitled to. Just like now, right? You don't pass 57 executive orders and then try to say that you're unifying. That's not how that works. That's how dictatorship works. So.
Yeah, but I don't think that that Biden is punishing the people that don't support him. Trump.
Can you guys answer me a question?
Really?
Yeah.
By what metric could Donald Trump be worse than presidents who own slaves?
Different times too. I'm sure.
Oh,
I'm sure if Donald Trump was alive back then, he would be owning slaves as well.
Got it. So, yeah, it's different. It's different times. So then we can't tear down the statues because it was a different time.
Okay, wait a second. I'm glad you brought that up. The statues weren't put up to honor Confederate soldiers. They were put up because, well, first of all, they wouldn't have been put up to honor Confederate soldiers because Confederate soldiers didn't want that. Robert E. Lee famously said there should be no monuments to a failed rebellion. It would just keep wounds open. But anyway, so 60 years after that, after Robert E. Lee said that, they started with a bunch of statues in this thing called the Lost Cause of the Confederacy. So that's why they are taking down those statues, because if you see when they were constructed, it's always around some type of civil rights act. Because it's not put up to honor, it's put up to intimidate.
Oh, so you're saying all Confederate statues are put up because of civil rights acts?
I said if you look and see when most of them are put up, it is around civil rights movements and causes. Yes.
By most, how many do you mean?
By if you look at when civil rights acts happened, the years, and then you look how many monuments to Confederates got put up, that's what I mean.
Okay, but how many is that? Is that like 60% of them, 70% of them? How many do you think it is? Is it more than half?
I think it's like I think it grows like 700 or 800%. Like, so like they'll do 8 is like, like on a given year, maybe they'll do like 2, I guess is what you're asking for, right? In a year that like, the Civil Rights Act passed in 1965, I believe it was. They did like 63 statues and schools were renamed after Confederate soldiers or something like that. It was Ken Burns did a beautiful thing on it. I'll try to find the video and send it to you.
So you don't know?
Well, I just kind of said it, but I mean,
really.
you want like the raw data? Like I don't have the raw data. I don't have the raw data, Andrew. No.
I'm curious though, like why? Okay, yeah, at different times for people going through things, but you're acting like but you're acting like we should be still celebrating something that happened in those times. I mean,
no, you just said that Trump would have owned slaves.
We guaranteed would have.
Right, guaranteed. But he didn't own any slaves.
Like when you're talking about
presidents who did own slaves,
right.
And again, my question is, how can you make a moral comparison to a man who did not when you did?
Because morality has to do with law. And society dictates laws. And the society had not dictated that owning slaves
was moral because it was the law?
At the time, they believed that's what was moral. Matter of fact, they defended it using passages from the Bible.
And
so,
do you think it was moral?
Well, obviously, I don't think it was moral.
Well, then why would you use the morality equivalent of saying it was a different time if you yourself don't agree with slavery? How can you make the moral equivalency that Trump was worse, knowing that slavery is the most horrid institution that's ever happened?
I don't believe in cancel culture after the fact. I don't believe in looking at today's sensibilities and trying to judge. People talking. Someone was making a comment about Winston Churchill being a white supremacist. Like he probably was. It was very acceptable to be a white supremacist in the 30s for people born in like 1877. So I don't subscribe to cancel culture post.
But your topic was worst in history, though. So
because I believe equivocally Trump's actions that caused a riot on the Capitol and his inactions afterwards
were worse than owning slaves?
Well,
Yes.
I think you have to account for the
Yes?
morality
Okay, that's
of
all I
the
wanna
times.
know.
given the times, yes, because
Okay.
at the time owning slaves was legal.
But morally,
I'm sorry, but it
riot at
was.
the
It was
Capitol is the
morally not
equivalent.
repugnant back then.
It's the equivalent of owning slaves, because at the time owning slaves was okay.
It were different times though. Like you have to like adjust the
No.
morale. It's like you have to adjust the morality to the times.
Okay, so
Andrew,
why
you
tear
like blazing
down the
saddles, right?
statues? Then why tear down the statues if that's the
Because
case?
why still
Blazing
celebrate
saddles,
them?
right?
Why still celebrate them?
Well, what do you mean? It's not a celebration.
It is.
It's
Why not
not
put them in
canceled. It doesn't matter what they did because it was the law at the time.
Why
It was
not put
the law
that in a
at the
museum?
Anybody who's ever discriminated against black people, the Ku Klux Klan, hey, if it was cool, as long as it was the law at the time, we'll just negate it all.
I know, but we're not saying that. We're saying there's no reason to have the statues still up in these times. You take them and you put them in a museum.
Okay, but that has nothing to do with the moral equivalency of men who owned slaves versus a man who didn't. And
Because
saying,
they were not still
saying
living.
that
Those statues were
okay,
there.
it's okay. You can't compare the two because at the time it was legal to own
They
slaves.
were, yeah, you're not listening. The statues were there then. You don't need to keep them around as time goes on.
I'm not talking about statues. I'm talking about slave
You just
owners.
were.
I brought the statues up in reference to it. Why tear that down if you're negating the fact that slavery was even a problem because it was the law at the time?
Because you don't need to have them up still and have that symbol of our history.
All right.
On the legality of it, just on a pure legal reason, we don't have statues to the people who did 9/11 either. And at the time of the rebellion, they were nothing more than terrorists. So
Okay.
that we shouldn't really honor.
But do
people
you
who
bring
attack
up?
our
But,
people.
but would you equate Osama bin Laden as being morally more or less reprehensible than Donald Trump? If somebody asked you, would you say, well, we can't bring that up because the law of the Muslims was that was okay?
That's just a false equivalency, bud. I'm just talking about
It's
why you
not a false equivalency.
you wouldn't have statues to people who rebelled against your government.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
First of all, they were all acquitted. All of them were acquitted, including the president, Jefferson Davis.
Yeah, that's not having your case on Trump then. Like if they are acquitted, I mean, that seemed
Was
almost
not. They didn't. They said it was not a rebellion. There was reunification. Nobody was tried for rebellion in the Civil War.
yeah.
Okay.
That set a nice little precedent, didn't it?
Sorry to tell you.
I'm sorry, the facts don't work for you, Andrew.
Well, again, the facts seem to work for me just fine. You can't seem to explain why it's morally okay for them to have owned slaves and how that's not more reprehensible than Trump inciting a riot in the Capitol. Because it was the law at the time, says Korey. So
Seems
therefore, it's okay.
Seems like he was
Morality
almost
is dictated by laws. I'm sorry.
Okay. You guys want to do comments?
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, guys, if you have questions, this is the time to bring them up. Let me see. Let's see what we have here. Let's see. Not seeing too many questions right now.
Hey,
So
wait a second. I have a question for someone in the audience.
okay.
I imagine Brittany thinks I won, and I think Todd thinks Andrew won. But when we made this deal, Justin was still on the show. Justin, who won the debate?
Okay, let me take
I'm sure he'll be objective, but
Hey, you agreed to it, buddy. You
Mod-
screenshot it, remember?
the mods are supposed to decide after the fact by
Hey,
going.
you agreed to it. You agreed to it. It's not my fault.
Yeah.
You didn't work out well for you.
Yeah.
You should have been nicer to him.
You're right. Call me.
Dude,
I'm the one who called.
and you should have included everybody who had more than 400,000 deaths. So you really, in the first 5 minutes, you lost. But I'll go back and watch it. And but
Well,
yeah, man,
I'm
if you
sorry
want to call
that
that
I
a win, bro,
thought
I
that
can help you out if
Andrew
you need a
would
loan, bro. I
try
can
to lie
get you the
about
under.
that. So I
and get it
figured
back
I
to
would
me.
give him one so he could get on me. Like
Hey.
that was part
So
of it.
Eric Cohn has a
Send
question.
it back to Destiny's
Anyway,
comment.
go ahead, Brittany. What?
I can address the Tweety. Okay. So I didn't insult his wife. I just said have her fact check it for you. That's not an insult.
Yeah, no, that's not an insult. You're right.
Sorry.
But okay, so Eric says, is there a limit to federal debt?
No, unfortunately, there's not. It can continue to go high, 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 high.
Okay. So we got Andrew. What was your point in bringing up the plague masks?
The point is that consensus in the scientific community doesn't make them right.
Okay.
I mean, we should have found that out with hydroxychloroquine. It's now okay to use, right? Funny how, right, all summer we weren't allowed to say that.
Thanks, Justin.
Science is now backing that fact up.
Yeah, it's funny that Eric.
Yeah.
Hey, it was the rule we
Right.
agreed upon, buddy. It's not my
Justin's
fault.
opinion
No, that's
matter
fine.
here.
Keep your 100. You
Justin,
clearly need it.
yeah, well, you shouldn't have left.
I clearly need it. Yeah, I'm sitting in my own arcade,
Anyway,
buddy.
you can
Yeah,
buy
I clearly
some
need it.
more statues.
You guys want to see the new arcade machine I bought since the last
Anyway,
debate?
man,
We were talking
but-
about-
Richard
You
says,
wanna-
do you think
You want to see some of the new toys I bought too?
Actually, yeah. You got anything cool?
I do have some cool stuff, but I don't want to show any of it. So, anyway, go ahead.
I hope you get a Tommy gun. I want a Tommy gun, Andrew. Can you get me a good one?
Yeah, I can get you a Thompson.
Well, let's talk. What do they run?
It depends. If you want a more modern semi-automatic version, you're usually around 11 to 1300. Not too bad.
I want one that looks exactly like the mob would use.
Yeah, all of the newer ones do. They're all made off the same tooling, in fact.
Oh, excellent. Well, then you'll have to. Yeah, we'll have to get with that then.
Yeah.
Okay,
No
so Richard asked, do you think the masks worked?
No, they didn't work.
Okay. Eric says Andrew keeps agreeing with me. What's happening?
Well, I mean, when you're right, man. What can I say?
Okay.
I always liked you, Eric. I don't know why you didn't want to come on and do a debate. It's weird. But anyway.
Let's see what Justin said. Andrew, would you debate me if I win? God.
Yeah, I agree. Unequivocally, I agree. But you have to do the same thing for table scrapped or whatever it is. Table scraps. I think that's what it's called. I don't know what it's called.
Table talk.
This is just like pro wrestling. Justin's doing a run-in for the next show.
Okay, so back to the hydroxychloroquine.
Dude, my wrestling character was so fucking awesome. And just so you know, at the outset, I was kind of dishonest about that. It was actually my friend Common came up with that, but it was such a cool story. I couldn't help but tell it as if it was my own.
No worries. It's the best. It's the best gimmick I've ever heard.
Oh, dude, he's a genius. When he told me about his wrestling, dude, so good. But anyway.
So quantum reality. I said I would like Brittany to explain adjustment to morality of the times.
Right, me too.
Okay, let me explain. So I mean, we all see just how we are progressing in society in general. Things that were okay 20 years ago are not okay now. You have to adjust the morality as time goes on, and I don't think it's really any more complicated than that. Okay, so
Justin would disagree with you.
Who would disagree with me?
I bet Q would disagree with you.
Okay, so Eric Holmes says, what is everybody's opinion on UBI?
Well, Corey's a liberal, but he's not a hardcore liberal. I don't think he would be in for UBI, but I'll let him answer for himself.
Mm-hmm.
I actually don't agree with it. I tried to explain it to Nathan why I didn't like it, and he made me look like a dumbass, but I still don't like it. So from my perspective, Nathan's a dumbass, but yeah, as far as a universal basic income goes, it's been tried and it doesn't work very well. So there's that, along with the fact that anytime anybody tries to give you something for free, you're probably the product. That's a good rule of thumb. If you can use it for free,
I say about Facebook and stuff that we're the product.
You're the product. So if the government's offering you money, be very wary.
And there's something to be said that if everyone has something, then no one has something.
That's true. That's true. That's the thing that gives things the most value is its rarity. Which is why, as my wife likes to say, if communism works so well, tell me who ends up with the Van Gogh.
So I think you already answered this about what the worst thing Trump has done, right?
The worst thing that Trump did, in my opinion, CQ, is that he did not complete the border wall, and he failed to get remittances to do so. And at the outside set, we can now pretty much see that he didn't have a great plan for putting that together. That was what I consider his greatest failure.
So Justin says his terms are: if I win, I'll come back. If you win, you stay.
Yeah, but why? I mean, I don't have a dog in that fucking race.
When yeah, hold on, let's not get crazy. Yeah,
no, table.
Justin,
I'll do the debate,
and
I'll leave if you win. But table scraps leaves if I lose. That seems fair.
No. No, it seems fair, but he's not in position to lay down any gauntlets here. So,
how about you guys do it
nice
for
try
charity?
though. So,
I mean, for
got it
Eric,
out for
I
you.
can see that, Eric. I could see that. I'm a pastor. Sometimes a conversation puts that role at risk.
and
Yeah,
you know,
I know. I do understand that. My pastor, in fact, I don't go to church much, but my wife takes the kids. But when I do go, he seems like a pretty decent guy, and he has the same types of reservations. That's why audio only works fairly well in this venue if you need it.
yeah.
Not everybody is terrified of cancel culture. When they come for me, that's my favorite part of it. So it's.
Eric, you can always debate less controversial stuff too. I mean, you don't have to debate something controversial. You can debate the UBI or things like that. So I think
you can change your name. You can put a fake picture on. If you're worried about people doxing you, you can come on with an alias. We will honor that if you feel. I mean, listen, that's why I don't come on camera, because people will try to get you to lose your job. So it's very simple. And I'm not going to trust. Everybody says, "Oh, we wouldn't do that. We wouldn't do that." And
some of us are self-employed and we don't care that much. So
some of them are retired.
Absolutely. Yep.
They don't have to work anymore.
I'm trying to be there.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice, man.
So
I'm not.
crazy.
I honestly think
games.
I think if the libs came for me, that the volume of work I have would actually increase. So to be honest with you.
So Crazy Hole said, if Jackson slaughtering Indians as a public policy is worse than anything Trump has done.
Oh, because the times, bro. The times.
That question wasn't for you.
If we're going to put a moral equivalency across all history, then no one is going to be a hero. So I just don't know at what point we start and stop that. That seems to be the slope that I think Andrew would agree with me on, actually, that, we should not be judging someone in the 1940s by the sensibilities of someone in the 1920s or the 2020s.
But you have to draw that all the way forward then. Okay? You can't go back to these statues regardless, even if you're right and they're all just erected as a fuck you to civil rights, right? You have to apply it fairly across the board.
But when they erected the statues to an FU to civil rights, that was still bad.
Well, right. But you're saying everything should be negated going backwards, except the things you don't want to negate. And that to me is a hypocrisy.
No, I'm saying that you should use a common sense kind of thing. I think it was still pretty bad in the 1950s that black people had to use different bathrooms. I think we all agree that.
Yeah.
On that, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Segregation
was done in the 1950s that was against the laws that were just being ignored at the time, shouldn't be honored, right? We can agree on that.
But Jackson's on the money, and he killed Indians, man.
They want to put Harriet Tubman on the money, don't they? Isn't she the one who's going to replace him? Isn't that the deal?
1% in Washington own slaves, bro, and they're on the money.
Hey,
so
I'm not a liberal. I'm not cancel culture.
But then you can't use that logic. You see what I'm saying? You can't use their logic for some things, but then not apply it to everything.
Confederates themselves did not want the statues. For that reason alone, they should be all torn down.
No, you quoted Robert E. Lee, not the Confederates. The Confederates was more than one man.
Actually, if you lived in the times, the Confederacy was Robert E. Lee.
No, it wasn't. Even if you lived in the times, sir, I disagree completely.
Then you obviously you're not very familiar with the history of
I'm
what
very
people,
familiar with the history.
people in the times thought of Robert E. Lee in the South.
I know exactly what they thought of Robert E. Lee in the South.
He could have shot him in.
I understand his wondrous popularity, but there was also the cause. Remember the cause, and the cause didn't die. The cause didn't die with Robert E. Lee.
Okay, so Eric had a question. So is the purpose of taxation motivation to work or to fund government?
It's specifically to fund crony government. That's what the income tax is there for. Not all taxation is bad, but the income tax is terrible. It's awful. The reason that so much social assistance is necessary is because we have the income tax, and it deprives so many people of about a quarter of their income yearly.
Justin said my debate topic would be, is white nationalism dangerous for our country and society? Okay.
Yeah, he's on timeout right now. I had to throw him on timeout. He was getting a little manic. So anyway, he'll be back. I had to throw him. Yeah, he was calling people out. Anyway, but we'll decide if that's even going to happen. Remember, he left, so you don't get to come back and start laying down gauntlets. But I'm sure Andrew will take him up on it, and we're not scared. So we will host that debate.
I would love for Duryea to come for a debate. That would be a great one.
Actually, yeah. And we'll keep it 100% civil, and we can do that. So I would love for him to. Anyone. Yep. We our debate format is where we like to. That's our bread and butter.
The rules have helped so much too. Honestly, like they made it's a nice day.
They really have.
They've been very helpful, and they're making this run a lot more smoothly. So, like people that are upset.
Do you have any more comments for Korey or myself?
Let me look. I'm trying to go through these. Got a lot of it's
about what? I mean, as a general rule, yes, but about what?
Well, I think he's saying that
about anything.
Anything in general with me. Yeah, okay. He's in opposition to it.
Let's see. By Korey's standard, apparently slavery wasn't bad because it was acceptable at the time. Slaughtering Indians was no big deal because it was acceptable at the time. I mean,
if it's my moral equivalency that dictates the world, I mean, I guess we can have that conversation, but.
And I also think back then that, they had this idea that there were like good slave owners and like the ones that treated them badly and the ones that didn't. And there was that kind of distinction that probably was going on. But
no, I enjoy the mental gymnastics it's taking you guys to justify slavery in order to make sure Trump ends up looking like the worst president in history. It's amazing.
Okay, so Warren says, what is the worst thing Biden has done so far?
Probably all the executive orders, having over 100 so far.
Really? Is it 100?
No, I don't think it's that high, but
maybe it's not.
It's over 50.
It's a lot.
I don't have that.
The second,
definitely a record.
The second worst thing that he's going to do is it looks like his administration is getting together for a massive gun control push, and that'll just be a giant distraction. So
he's going for gun control.
The worst thing he's going to do is leave the party to Kamala Harris.
I mean, I was surprised. I think he's got more balls than people thought, and I don't think he's going to just roll over for the lunatic left. But we'll see.
He's 78 years old. That's what worries me. He doesn't have 8 years to do this. I think in 4 years, if Biden runs against Trump again, Trump loses. Trump can beat Kamala Harris.
Yeah, I'm willing to apologize, but you have to tell me what rule I broke.
Yeah, no, he said, is your wife going to fact check you? So I don't think he was insulting. Yeah, I think
that's not an insult. Yeah. I'm sorry to tell you.
No, it's not. Maybe people misheard or something. Let's see what we got
when
here.
I go back and watch it, if he said anything untoward,
I didn't hear anything.
Call him
So
out. We've been trying to stick to the treaty.
if I would have heard him, I would have called him
I didn't
out.
either. And if he did, I will be the first one. Right. So I don't think anything like that happened. What happens is people get, they get on their high horse and they want to knock Andrew off his horse. It's okay. I will go back and objectively watch this and point by point. We'll talk about after we get.
You guys also, when it comes to the treaty applies to the show. What happens, whatever people are doing that are outside the show, that doesn't count. We can't sit there and try to, how people are behaving all over the place. This is just to the show. So I think we need to, keep that in mind. Let's see,
I think all in all, everyone should be happy.
Yeah, he says
with the direction that we're going here.
Which executive orders are problematic?
Who is he asking?
I'm guessing you, because you said that it was problematic. That he has done.
Well, the first one that comes to mind is his rollback of Trump's immigration policies as being one of the most problematic executive orders that he's rolling back.
I'm just gonna say hi to Theodore. That's the first time he's been on here. So.
Theodore Thornton.
Theodore.
He's a Chinese infiltrator. I'm telling you. Ask Theodore. No, I'm not going to stop it because this is true.
No,
ask him. I can prove it right now. Ask him to be critical of the CCP in any way. He can't do it.
So what? Some people might have a different opinion.
No. Just do it for fun. Just to prove me wrong. He can't do it. I swear to God, there's a Chinese person there. I told him before. I said, bro, send me the signal if there's a communist there with a gun. Just send me a signal.
Stop being ridiculous.
Blink twice, Ted.
That's what I said. Blink twice.
Just if there's put two question marks and an exclamation point. If Xi Jinping is at your house right now, we will come and save you. You're a fellow Bucks County guy. Bucks County.
We're here to help, dude. It's the K-Fools Army. We're here to help.
Okay. Let's see. Did you address which executive order?
The immigration rollback.
Yep.
Yeah. See, I haven't looked into all the different executive orders that he. Okay. So he says, I'm sorry, which ones are problematic and why? I guess he expanded on that. But yeah, I don't know all of the executive orders that he's done. I've been meaning to go and look through them because I do believe a lot of it is just rolling back things that Trump has done, which.
Well, it's a problem because just as the news has been reporting, Biden's set to let in tens of thousands of illegals from south of the border, pretty much unchecked. And there's a direct correlation between that and the executive orders. So
okay, and
COVID-19. Why would we not test them for COVID-19 if you made such a big deal all year about COVID-19? Why, right? So they have not been vaccinated. There's a bunch of them. Keystone's a problem. You just whacked 20,000 union jobs, right?
But
we know they're not permanent. We know they're not permanent jobs.
But I thought he was asking. He was asking
way.
Specifically just one or something.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong.
And then he moved to goalpost or ask another follow-up question. It's fine. I would love to have him on. I will debate him as well, and we will be totally well-behaved if he wants to come on.
No, I can name more.
I'll offer that. I will.
We wanted one. So, and I'm willing to have a debate with you on any of those subjects that you want, man.
I would love that. And also, yeah, I do kind of agree that
the fact that he said
the Teddy was
But wait a minute.
The Theodore.
Well,
how is I don't understand.
Okay.
How is that
calling him like a Russian spy?
So weird.
Well, you guys have done that to me many times, right? Who in PDR hasn't called me a Russian troll?
Yeah,
right?
we're talking about
attacks. It's funny that
what made you
post on the show, though.
Right,
we're talking about on the show.
No, I'm not. I can't. I can't.
Why
apologize
wouldn't you
for that
be able
because I think that I'm
anything?
right. He really is. So, and those types of infiltrators come along with those types.
He's
of
not though. He's not. Like, he's definitely not.
Okay, that's
So did you get that
fine.
from
But
his
how hard would
Photoshop
it be to
pictures,
call
or-
out the treatment of the Uyghurs? So either way,
Okay.
it's fine. Just
And
but
yeah,
either
Jerry,
way,
Jerry,
everybody's
talking
looking
about
for
debating
this
you.
apology.
Which I think, I mean, you said you don't debate, but I think you are actually a really, really skilled debater. So I would love for you to.
You.
What? What'd you say?
I
well,
don't know.
they-
I said, yeah, you.
It's
yes,
a good
you.
question. It's
Yes,
a good
it
question.
said me?
Eric,
Question mark.
It's got to be a gain versus loss status. So it's how much do they cost versus how much do they give? Progressives are real keen on telling us how much of a net gain illegal immigrants are to the economy, but they're not so keen at telling us what the net cost of illegal immigrants to the economy is.
Let's see. So I think we're kind of caught up.
I got to admit, Biden's playing kind of loose with his support right now. You can't spend a year telling people Corona is going to kill you and then just let people come into the country. Like, the moderate middle that got Biden in the White House will not respond well to that. Like Biden, if he's going to keep the
You mean you?
Huh?
You?
Well, yeah, me, basically. The Republicans that put Biden in the White House. I mean, let's be honest, the liberals didn't do it.
Are you sure you're a Republican?
Well, I was until today. I'm actually an independent now. I can't be part of a party that did that. So, but
Wait, what state did you say you were
Good
from?
for you, buddy. You're going to start a third party.
compassionate
So 'cause
conservative.
we're kicking all of yous out
What?
anyway.
What state did you say you were from
Kicking
again?
you all out anyway. So as I said
I'm
2
Ohio.
months ago.
What did you say? What state did you say you were from, Korey?
Ohio.
Okay.
I'm actually pretty liberal for my state, but like when I went to I'm a Republican here. In Arkansas, I was a liberal. I came back to Ohio, and now I'm still a liberal. I haven't changed my views. I still like Bush 43. Like he's
So
still like,
CQ, how can illegal immigrants go through medical checks before they enter the country? You can't even imagine how absurd what you just said there is.
Oh, but I mean, people are going to break laws. I mean, people are going to still break laws. Like, isn't that the argument you guys use for guns all the time?
But again, illegal immigrants aren't going through medical checks, CQ. I'm sorry to tell you.
and we do have a medical process for immigration, don't we? That we used to. Do we still do that?
Of course we do. But they always conflate illegal immigrants.
Those are asylum seekers
They always conflate illegal immigrants with immigrants to try to make
coming
you
in
sound.
through a port of entry.
Oh no! I mean, you hear Tucker Carlson kind of say the quiet part out loud, where he says they want to cut legal immigration in half as well, and
there's no problem with that. That still doesn't make you anti-immigrant if you want to cut down on the amount of immigrants that come in. And we've had this discussion.
It kind of does when we're only here because we were allowed here. Like,
no, we weren't allowed here.
Yeah, we were. My people came over here after the War of the Roses. Like,
okay, but I'm guessing I thought you were talking about initially.
Well, I mean, I thought I was welcomed. I thought our people was welcomed here. I mean, we didn't really ask the Indians; we just kind of took it. So
yeah. That's kind of, the thing is that immigration has not had a great track record in the United States, has it?
I thought we decided that we conquered them. That was a conquering of people. That it was okay. We went against that now.
Again, you're making my point.
You're making my point. Trying to.
Right. It's called right of conquest, and everywhere in the world that's how it worked until it happened in America, and now we're supposed to apologize.
Right.
So we're gonna have about like 10 minutes left for this portion.
I keep telling you, I'm actually conservative. I have mainly conservative views. The party has moved away from me.
Go back to Eric Pohn's comment, if you would.
Yeah, is it this one?
He said, we need people. We're losing our competitive advantage because our low population. My family has been here free since 1666. Without a doubt, that's true. But look at the abortion rate in the Black community. That has a large contribution to the low population of African Americans in the United States. That's one. Two, we don't incentivize our own people to have babies like we should. You don't need to replace our domestic population with a foreign population when you can just incentivize the domestic population to breed.
So you're in favor of like supporting mothers who have babies then? Like you're not like, hey,
He wants to pay people to have more babies.
It's absolutely, I absolutely am. And not only am I in favor of supporting them, the best way that you can support them is to get rid of the income tax so that they can afford to have a family.
Yeah, our first debate, he said he wants to.
I'm not going to debate the income tax. That's
Have
just
more
too,
babies.
Yeah, there's no reason to have it. I'm sorry.
You know, everything. I think you should. I'm okay with incentivizing. No, I don't know. It depends on who the people are. Can we decide who gets to be incentivized for procreating?
No.
Yeah.
It's just stop robbing people of their money and let the chips fall where they may. People will.
How do you go down on the issue of sterilizing stupidity?
People's natural inclination is to mate and have children. That's the natural inclination. The smarter we get as a society, yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's a biological imperative.
My natural inclination is to never have kids.
Because why? Because of monetary reasons?
Because I like to have all the cool stuff and don't have to share it with the little bastard.
Because of monetary reasons. Right. So the thing
is, it's because I don't have to deal with him. I have the money.
Okay. So in your personal case, you can't point to an outlier as being the standard. The biological.
You can't say all people.
Oh, okay. I can say all people with the exception. With the exception of the outlier, I guess, which would be Korey. But I'm sure even Korey likes to have sex. So your biological imperative is to do so. And that inevitably tends to lead towards children.
I said, like I said last week, I pull out whenever I can.
Okay, but still, the natural biological imperative of men is to breed.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
That's the society imperative.
To
create religious people. That's the society's imperative. That's not our imperative.
It's a biological imperative. It's a biological imperative.
I disagree.
I don't care.
I think that we as a species, we populate to a certain extent, but we as humans have overpopulated because of society pressures, not because of natural.
We're not overpopulated. We're not overpopulated.
Oh, we are totally overpopulated.
Yeah. So even though most of America is not populated, we're still overpopulated. Is that right?
Hey, if you want to move to Wyoming, go right ahead. But I don't want to.
And there would be no problem with moving to Wyoming if there was a busy, bustling bunches of cities everywhere with people in them, would there?
Well, but the people in Wyoming wouldn't like that. They kind of like things backwoods.
Some people do, and there's plenty of Wyoming to choose from, isn't there? Because there's not an overpopulation.
The state capital of Wyoming just got running water like 4 years ago.
Nah, that sounds like bullshit. But in any case, okay, gotcha. But in any case, the natural imperative of people is to breed and have families, and most men do want to have families.
I do not accept that.
And most women want to have families. Well, I don't care. That's what the science says.
Johnny Carson caused a lot of people to stop having kids.
What's that?
Johnny Carson caused the population to decrease in the United States when he was the king of late night. So apparently we wanted to laugh more than we wanted to procreate. So I don't think it's just a natural imperative that we can just assume that. We have to look into the society pressures that are put on people to procreate too. Big Catholic families.
It's always a monetary issue. The smarter a society gets, generally, the less they tend to breed because they begin to do societal planning. This is why the third world outpaces us in birth rates. This is science, my friend. Right?
I don't agree on the monetary imperative. I'm just saying that it's not natural. It's not the natural state for everyone to have. We don't want to have kids.
Not everyone. Everyone always wants to point to the three fucking outliers and say, because the three outliers, this is not the imperative. It is the imperative, man.
You realize you spent most of the debate pointing to those three outliers, right?
No, what I did was I pointed at scientific consensus and said, if I agree with one out of 99, I'm still agreeing with the science. I'm just not.
Sorry, I brought it up. I'm sorry, I brought it up.
I mean, you should be.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Is anyone actually still watching this?
Hmm? Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys, if we're just annoying you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
People watching.
So,
We're about to wrap it up.
My
We're at the
feelings, dude.
1:30 mark. So
Actually, I live in Greenville.
We're gonna stop it, and we're gonna stop it in just a minute. I just wanted to address really quick. We were supposed to have a panel this Wednesday that's been canceled. We are having a debate. Our next time is we're having a debate on Saturday that will be Andrew and Richard will be debating, I believe, guns, and I'm not sure what the other issue is. And then Rachel and Alex will be debating Sunday. So
Now the forum debates are coming soon, though.
yes, we're gonna have some. We have quite a few debates scheduled, but I would like to have some of these people on. I don't know if we maybe set up just bringing people on, not for a debate, but maybe just like a small panel like this with you, because I think people want to talk to you, but maybe not quite in the debate section. So I'll set that up with you guys if you guys want to message me. I think we are going to shut this down now because we did only have one topic.
Thanks for your participation, Korey.
Hey,
yeah.
Guys, it was fun.
Yeah, no, thank you for coming on. And I hope everybody catches us on Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And
don't forget to catch Table Scraps every Friday at I don't remember. Check out Table Scraps, Korey. You'll like it. It's good.
Are we
hey,
picking
no
stuff?
free plugs, man. We need
Life
to,
of Brian, Monty Python's Life of Brian. Check this out. Really good movie.
The plug.
Hey, how much you selling that for, dude?
I'm not selling it. This is like one of my favorite movies of all time.
I'll pay you $100 for it on you.
On you. Stupid. Okay. All right. So thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next.
I bet those glasses make you see better.